In these sections, we will use a network of related symbols to express the systemic representation of a Montessori learning community. Aspects of a co-created and evolving learning community are related to an eco-cosmological worldview. The first area we will explore is Montessori's cosmological worldview. The central part of the cosmological worldview is the notion of cosmic education. It came out of the collaborative work of Maria and her son Mario during their years in India from 1940 through 1946. Today we have an expanded notion of cosmic education from the revelations contained in the evolving story of the universe through cosmogenesis. The idea that cosmic education may be the instrument for leading us to an integrated ecozoic education is compelling. Ecozoic extends the timeline of life that now ends with the Cenozoic period. Mario Montessori was keenly interested in presenting a study of ecology to 9 to 12-year-olds long before it was recognized as a legitimate topic in education. Cosmic education is a lifelong process that begins at birth. During the early years, the child is introduced to the natural environment through practical life, sensorial, and language experiences. From 6 to 12 years, the child is introduced to the story of the universe and all the interconnections that exist in the cosmos. And for the adolescent years, the context for exploration is eco-cosmological. In To Educate the Human Potential, Maria Montessori proclaims that the fundamental principle in education is the correlation of all subjects and their centralization in the cosmic plan. In a 1946 Rome lecture, Montessori proclaimed, "Cosmic charity is universal. It requires the lifelong dedication of each person to all humankind. It lifts up the hearts of all humans and helps civilization rise to a higher level, as it ensures the existence of each and all. The trees that purify the air, the herbs that capture vitamins from the sunlight, the coral that filters the sea, whose creatures would die if there were no such life forms to keep the water pure. The animals that populate the earth are unconscious of their cosmic mission, but without them, the harmony of creation would not exist and life would cease. This harmony, based on the needs of each and all, is of divine origin. That is why humanity has no conception of it and perceives only its immediate needs. But if individuals could raise their consciousness to a higher level, they would awaken and be aware of the disinterested goodness and self-sacrifice of their fellows." And she ends this lecture by saying, "If we educate children to see this, they will ready themselves to feel gratitude to all creation. This is the affective aspect of our cosmic education." Montessori exclaimed, "The universe is an imposing reality and an answer to all questions, for all things are part of the universe and are connected with each other to form one whole unity." She goes on to say, "The stars, earth, stones, life of all kinds forms a whole in relation to each other, and so close is this relationship that we cannot understand a stone without some understanding of the great sun. No matter what we touch, an atom or a cell, we cannot explain it without knowledge of the universe. The laws governing the universe can be made interesting and wonderful to children, more interesting than things in themselves, as the children begin to ask, 'Who am I? What is the task of humanity in this wonderful universe?' And now we unfurl the story of the beginning. Cosmologist Brian Swim explains, some 13 billion years ago, there was a great silent fire that marked the beginning of time. This was a fire that filled the universe, that was the universe. All of the particles of the universe were in that fire, churning in extreme heat and pressure. All that we see, all that exists, was in that fire at the beginning. We can see the dawn of the universe because the light from its edge just reaches us now after traveling for 13 billion years. When you see a candle's flame, you see the light from that candle. In that sense, you see the fireball. You are physically interacting with photons from the beginning of time. Everything in the universe came from a common origin, and everything was in that fireball. The material of our bodies are intrinsically linked to every entity on Earth and in the universe, because we all emerged from a single energetic event. Our ancestry stretches back to the stars. As Montessori teaches, the challenge is twofold. First, we need to prepare the environment so as to facilitate these discoveries. And second, to help children understand that each element of creation has a cosmic task, that everything works together in a beautiful harmony. And the person who emphasized the children's cosmic task was Mario Montessori. In his 1956 writing on the human tendencies in Montessori education, he gives us this dynamic illustration to represent the unconscious exchange of service, which is the foundation for understanding humanity's cosmic task. Evidence now calls us to revise his chart to depict a more accurate representation that goes beyond the old classification of plants and animals and includes bacteria, prokaryotes, protoctus, and fungi. Now we have come to the end of Section 2. We have explored the cosmological worldview. In the next section, we will look at Montessori's developmental insights as well as practice or implementation. We will also explore the matrix or participants in our systemic view of a Montessori learning community.